Kumba Iron Ore has posted flat interim profit. That's despite a 3% increase in sales as weak steel demand weighed on prices. During the 6 months to end June, the miner's average realized free on-board export price was $91 per wet metric ton. That's 6% lower than the previous period. The main contributor to that was a weak property sector in China, which is a major iron ore importer. A dividend of 16 Rand 60 has been declared. That's a reduction of 12% on last year's interim payout. Shaftesbury Capital has reported higher earnings at the halfway stage of its financial year. In the 6 months to end June, underlying earnings rose 16%. This was helped by the real estate investment trust West End portfolio. The firm says it continues to be busy and vibrant with high footfall and 7 days a week trading. Leasing demand there is also strong. An interim dividend of 1.9 pence has been declared. Boxer has reported higher turnover. The value grocery retailer says turnover for the 17-week period to June the 29th rose 12% and 3.9% on a like-for-like basis. The firm opened 7 superstores and 10 liquor stores during the first 4 months of its 2026 financial year and says it's on track to meet guidance for its full-year rollout target. The grocer plans to open 60 stores in total, which will comprise of 25 superstores and 35 liquor stores. Process has extended the acceptance period of its offer for Just Eat Takeaway to the 1st of October. This will allow the timeline to align with a revised competition clearance process set by the European Commission. It's expected that the Commission will issue its decision in relation to the transaction on August the 11th, and then Just Eat shareholders will have sufficient time to tender their shares into the offer. Competition clearance is the only outstanding regulatory hurdle that needs to be cleared in order for the deal to go through. It could take up to 2 years for the Reserve Bank to implement a new inflation target. That's according to the Bank of America. According to the firm's latest SA Viewpoint note, it believes the move to a target of 3% is almost certain. Governor Lesetja Kganyago has long argued that the current 3 to 6% band lags its emerging market peers and presented his case for the shift at the SARB's MPC meeting in May. Bank of America estimates that targeting lower inflation could yield nearly 900 billion rand in debt servicing savings over the next decade. South Africa is waiting to hear from the U.S. about a trade proposal it submitted last month. That's as the country hopes it can avoid high tariffs. This comes just 3 days before a 30% levy on exports to the U.S. kicks in. Pretoria has been tight-lipped about its negotiations with U.S. President Donald Trump's administration ahead of the tariff deadline. But in speaking to Business Day, Camille Ali, spokesperson for Trade, Industry and Competition Minister Park Stow, stated that a substantive response to the proposal has not yet been received. However, negotiations are ongoing. Meanwhile, Minister of Mineral and Petroleum Resources Gwede Mandashe says South Africa will find new markets for its critical minerals if the U.S. hits the country with steep tariffs. South Africa is by far the world's leading producer of platinum group metals. PGMs are used in automobile catalytic converters and are among critical minerals subject to an ongoing U.S. probe that could result in new import levies. Speaking on the sidelines of a G20 meeting, Mandashe stated that SA should not be bullied for its own resources and trade needs to be mutually beneficial. And annual growth in broad money supply rose to 7.3% in June. That's higher than the 6.9% recorded the previous month and is more than what the market had expected, while credit growth for June came in at 5%. That's unchanged from the previous month, but also above forecasts. Further afield, Novo Nordisk named Mazia Mike Dostar as its new chief executive, relying on an experienced company insider to revive sales and a share price hit by worries. The maker of weight loss drug Wegovy is falling behind in a race that started. Here's more detail in this package report.
Novo Nordisk shares plunged over a quarter in afternoon trade before recovering some ground. It happened on the same day the firm issued a profit warning and announced a new CEO. Investors sold off after the obesity drug maker cut its full-year sales and operating profit forecasts for the second time this year. Novo now expects sales growth of 8 to 14%, well down from a previous forecast of between 13 and 21%. It also lowered its operating profit growth estimate. The maker of weight loss drug Wegovy is struggling to convince investors it can stay competitive in the obesity drug boom against US rival Eli Lilly. Novo said Tuesday its sales rose just under a fifth year-on-year in both the second quarter and the first half of the year. The company further added its operating profit also rose by 40% in the April-June quarter. Booming sales of Wegovy turned Novo into Europe's most valuable listed company last year, but its value has since fallen by more than half. Novo has also seen change in the boardroom, with CEO Lars Jorgensen pushed out in May. The firm named Maziar Mike Dustar as its new chief executive. Two key aims will be to revive sales and the share price. Novo is due to release full second quarter earnings on August 6th.